This is Heather Lockett with Lasting Conversations, and I'm here with the absolutely amazing and beautiful Sabine Kruse today, zooming in from Spain. Hi, Sabine.
Hi, Heather. Thank you so much for inviting me to Lasting Conversations. Thank you.
Thank you for responding. And I think all of this is beautiful kismet. And on the show, we're all about synchronicities and kismet. So here we are in what's known as the 888 portal gateway. We're here at the cusp of a new season. So it's towards the end of summer, depending which continent you're on. For others, it's winter. We'll be entering the solstice time. Kids here in the United States have gone back to school. So there's this whole feeling of seasons ending and entering into the new part. And sometimes there can be a gap within that. So there's a lot happening for a lot of people. And Sabine is here to help us navigate and, all pun intended, cruise through these seasons that can feel kind of tumultuous, but really we can have these tools and resources to tap into our own sense of calm and what is our human consciousness and our divine blueprint. And our divine blueprint is all about peace, calm, and harmony. So welcome, Sabine. And you are an author of an amazing book called Activate Your Highest Potential with Sacred Geometry. So we're going all kinds of geometry, and it's not the boring math. This is nature at its best.
Yes, thank you, Heather. Yes, that's right, because we are all made of sacred geometry. And with me, I mean the whole universe, and also the human body, nature, the cosmos. It's everywhere.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell us a little bit from the background, because you were an economist for 20 years. You were helping people in a different fashion. So how did all of this come to you? Or what was it that you were doing prior, and now it's a beautiful blend because you're still helping people?
Yes, thank you. So first of all, I'd like to welcome also the audience. I'm really happy to be here, and thank you all for your interest. And so I grew up in Germany, and now I live in Spain. And I've always wondered how I could contribute to a beautiful and abundant and free world. And I've looked for solutions outside of me. And that's why I studied economics, to find out more about abundance. That's why I worked in the field of development cooperation, dedicated to improving the living conditions of people in poorer countries, developing countries. And but I never really felt fulfilled, basically, with the impact of all this. And I came to realize that, as Mahatma Gandhi said, be the change you wish to see in the world. And it's all an inner journey. It's all an inside job. And so I embarked on a journey. I left my corporate job and, went to explore the world, but the inner world this time, with meditation, spiritual programs. And towards the end of 2014, I started receiving insights about sacred geometry during meditations. So basically I received, and it's interesting, it all started with the octahedron, which is a sacred geometry form which we are going to play with today. So I was shown in each meditation what kind of energies, what kind of frequencies do different sacred geometry shapes and forms carry. And how you can actually use these energetics to produce tangible energetic shifts in your life or in your energetic body, or even up to your physical body if you do it regularly. So I was really fascinated by that and explored a lot. And first the information came through in German, then it started to come through in English. And I was like, okay, maybe I should record this. And so step by step, this book took shape. This book, Activate Your Highest Potential with Sacred Geometry, a Practical Guide to Freedom, Authenticity, and Fulfillment. It came out on Lionsgate last year, actually. So it took me a while to record all the practices, and also to try them out with clients, with friends, with family members, to gather some information. Because when it first came to me, I thought, like, okay, am I losing my mind? Because I'm an economist, I'm a logical person, I'm very rational most of my life. And to be actually open to your intuitive side and to trust in what you receive was quite a step for me as well. And it's also a journey from your head to your heart, and following your heart and your playfulness, your curiosity, and to keep exploring. And so that's how it all started. And now this book has been available for a year, and now it's also available in Spanish. And and I'm playing with all this information that I received. So which sacred geometry, shape or form carries which frequencies? How can I combine them also with colors and numerology to come up with a certain energetic cocktail, similar as if you would cook a meal and you have like different ingredients and you just put them together and a beautiful meal comes out. And so that's why I started also doing like sacred geometry designs and working with the sacred geometries, more complex sacred geometries in webinars or in coaching, to bring about certain energetic effects.
This is all absolutely beautiful and amazing. And I'm going to ask perhaps a 101 question, which is all geometry sacred? Now, that perhaps is true, because we have the triangle, but then the one triangle can create the next, which then creates maybe a Star of David, which then creates a three-dimensional, or the pyramid as we know them. So each one morphs into the next thing. And so I will throw that out there. Is every piece of something that's geometric so tied to the next thing that it is sacred?
I would say the definition for sacred geometry is a specific one, so that not every type of geometry would qualify. And like if we look at the word geometry, are two Greek words, and it means to measure earth. And sacred is actually where you have like a certain kind of proportion in the angles or in the numbers or in the sacred geometry that follow the divine proportions, the divine blueprint, and also geometry that is all encompassing, that's inclusive. Like, for example, a circle or a sphere where everything else is included. And so there are certain numbers that are important that are at the basis of sacred geometry. And one is phi. Phi is a certain kind of mathematical ratio for beauty. So you can see it, like, for example, in a beautiful human face. You can see it even like artists use the phi ratio, and it's based on a certain number, a sequence, a Fibonacci sequence of numbers. And when you actually depict it in squares and join the corners, you come up with a spiral. It's like the golden ratio spiral.
Right.
And this is, and the number itself is 1.618, and so on. It's an infinite number. And this is, for example, one of the sacred numbers. And another sacred number is pi. So it's like the number that is at the basis of circles and spheres, and it's pi is also an infinite number, is 3.14, and so on. So when you have these numbers, and when you have certain symmetries and certain proportions, and the all-encompassing characteristics of geometry, then that's called a sacred geometry.
Beautiful. I love that. This is we're in school today. I absolutely. I could call it mystery school, but it's not so mystery. So the other piece I was going to touch on before we get back into the playland, because you're going to show us some amazing things here, is the notion of, from in your workaday world, and most of us have grown up and we've gone to school, we've done all the things, and then something starts to happen, which is outside of the box. And you had mentioned, is this very logical? Some things may seem very illogical, but where, say, artists already can tap into their freedom of expression and start writing things or painting things that quote unquote don't make sense, and they don't have to. Musicians, same thing. It just comes out of them. But when there are other things or other writings that are tapping into our heart spaces instead of our intellectual minds, and maybe we are remembering and recalling things from past lives or future lives or whatever you want to call it, these divine blueprints, it can feel very disconcerting. And we can question ourselves, or maybe even question our sanity. What are we even talking about? So again, to have some great resources and good mentors along the way that can help essentially hold your hand and bridge you through these things that can feel discombobulating, right? So that your book actually took the span of better part of a decade is really beautiful, because each thing had to come in its own timing, didn't it?
Right, exactly. And then also I started, because before I hadn't really engaged with sacred geometry at all.
Right.
And so then I started, apart from actually exploring it and using the practices I was being shown on others and recording the experiences, I also then started investigating a bit with my mind this time, going
Right.
into the internet and reading a book also. And I found another book that there are not many sacred geometry books out there that talk about the energetic properties and utilizations of sacred geometry shapes and forms. You would find more about the mathematics, the underlying mathematics of it. You would find architecture books or artists' books on sacred geometry. But I found one other book at the time, only in German, that showed the energetic properties of the 5 platonic solids, like the hexahedron, the icosahedron, the octahedron, the dodecahedron, and the tetrahedron. And then I found out, okay, the main information is actually in that book was the same that I had received. I was like, thank you for the confirmation.
I'm not crazy. I'm really onto something here. Yes.
So, and then I started exploring, since I'm here in Granada in the southern Spain, and you have the Islamic heritage with the 8-pointed star and the 16-pointed star and all kinds of stars. I mean, the 6-pointed star that you mentioned, the Star of David, is one of the stars here. Like, you've got it here in the image as well. And so I found out more about the qualities of the stars as well. And then, of course, you've got the usual ones, the flower of life, Metatron's cube, the sphere, the infinity symbol, also sacred symbols like the ankh that I'm wearing, for example. Mm-hmm. And this first book of mine is actually like a very good basis to engage with all kinds of different sacred geometry shapes and forms and see how you can use it for your daily practices, for your daily life. And but so that was really helpful to have the confirmation, not only through my own experiences and that of other people around me, but also through another book that was already published.
Beautiful. So how is it that we can tap into and make it very prescriptive when you're saying, if you take these little formulations, and it can be for the people at large and also somebody in particular. So if you had a client and maybe they need this combination of the math and the geometries for certain themes. So the word that just keeps coming through me for this is very prescriptive. It can become quite medicinal in its own way. Freeing is another word for it. So tell us about all of these different recipes. Not all of them. That's infinite. That's
exactly.
That's infinite. And that gets into some other math, which that's a whole different show. But anyway, there is new math.
Exactly. Here, the infinity symbol here in the center.
That's right. There is a math for that. I'll start outing myself. But anyway, going back to the prescriptive recipes. And so, for instance, so you have this showing in big. You showed me, you have a smaller version that you can hold up for us. What is the title of this symbol?
Yeah, this is
Yes.
actually the latest design. This is, let me see, like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is called alignment with your infinite nature.
Beautiful.
And I designed it for the Lionsgate portal this year. So 888 was the numerology of this Lionsgate portal, 8 of August 2024.
Yeah.
And so I used like 3 different sacred geometries that are connected, because it's 888, 3 eights, to the number 8. And there is, on the one hand, the infinity symbols, that because upright, it's a figure 8 as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then we've got the octahedron, and we're going to work with it today. Octa in Greek means 8. And then in here we've got the 6-pointed star with 6 octahedrons in it. And then we've got a rim of 8-pointed stars. Maybe you can see it better here in my background.
And for those of you just listening, know that, first of all, feel the resonance of what is being spoken here, because that is the beauty of all of this. Is there's a beautiful energetic resonance coming forward, and then we're also will be on YouTube, so you'll get all of the visuals as well. So yes, yeah. Sabine.
And this symbol is actually on my Instagram account. It's the last post I did because it was for 888. Mm-hmm. And you will see not only the symbol there, but you can also do the activation. I posted an activation with it so that you can actually feel and tap into the energy and the frequency of this particular symbol as well. And so the 8-pointed star is basically 2 squares, one upright, and one, with a corner, upright, basically. And so it harmonizes the opposites and the polarities and expands consciousness. And that's so interesting because each of these symbols have their own frequencies and energies. And like, for example, the octahedron, and we'll work with that just in a few minutes, is actually about clearing mental confusion, deleting old mental programs, bringing in fresh energies, joy, playfulness. So you can work with it. But in general, to come back to your question, what you do to tap into your intuition, into creativity, there is a general thing or practice I do before I do any other practice. And that can be done in any moment, wherever you are, whenever you are. And you just go into your 0 point, and your 0 point is in the middle of your heart chakra. Mm-hmm. So basically what I do is I make sure that I land there, because this 0 point is the access point to your soul, to the quantum field. You can tune in and connect to source, to all that is through there. And it also helps you when you're in your mind to actually, sometimes if I'm really in my mind or somebody else is, I guide them on a golden spiral staircase all the way down from the mind to the center of the heart chakra. And then I ask them to just focus on it. So bring your awareness into that 0 point in the middle of your heart chakra. And breath always helps. So breathe into it. Focus on it. And you can also use your intention. And I do that a lot when I work energetically with sacred geometry, that I set an intention, because the energy follows intention and also attention. Mm-hmm. So because we're all made of, everything is energy and vibration and frequency, as Nikola Tesla said. And it's really, so if you focus your awareness on something, your energy follows. So I focus then on my 0 point. I set the intention that I now go into my 0 point. And setting the intention means I say or think it. No? So I think, or now I say it. I set the intention to go into my 0 point. Focus on it, breathe into it, and I'm out of my mind. I'm here connected to my soul. And that's the space where you can actually feel your true self, and where you can actually also bring through any kinds of any kind of creativity or intuition, and where you're connected not only like through your mind to the world wide web, but you're actually connected to the universal web. You have access to it all.
And it's beautiful. Another way of thinking about it, which is where you can do it anyway, is to drop in. You're dropping into you're dropping out of the extraneous and taking that moment of a pause or a breath. Clearly, this can be for longer if your intention is to really, really tap in for some sort of guidance of some sort, or you're in the middle of a meeting, or your kids are screaming, or whatever it is. You can take a nano breath, even just drop in, get landed within your core central self to regulate or readjust perhaps when you're feeling kaflooey. And then taking it to the steps that you're speaking of, you can drop in and land from that central core of yourself to then have that guidance that you perhaps might be looking for.
Exactly. That's beautifully put, Heather. Thank you. Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. And
it's wonderful really because I just love it, because in that tangible way, how can we have these best practices? And I think for so many of us, we're thinking, well, meditation's out here, and then I have to wait to go on a retreat or whatever. It's in these nano moments, and again, and especially right now. And I love that this whole creation that came through for this particular gateway is very, very important to include the fun. Like, this is fun. I don't know about you. When I went to school in math, and I kind of half failed geometry, so I'm chuckling. My inner self is really chuckling because I'm all about it now. It didn't feel fun to me. I knew, and I know this is a tangent, but I knew good old Mr. Pappas. He loved it. And he was teaching high schoolers back in the early 80s. So, but he loved it. And it was just what I clearly wasn't ready for. Anyway, because this is the fun part. It doesn't have to be so dramatic. And it can be that moment that you're utilizing these things to tap into the core of our own sacred self, right? And having that breath. Exactly. Sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent, but it all counts, I guess.
Exactly. And it's really important because you can just do it in any kind of situation, wherever you are. And like you're in the middle of a conflict. Yeah. You just focus on on your 0 point, you breathe into it. If you remember, sometimes you don't when you're in the middle of a conflict. But anyway, if you do, and then you can come back to that peace. And this is the point for neutrality as well. You are out of the duality. Yeah. Because you're out of the duality of the two hemispheres of the brain. You are in the oneness of the heart chakra.
I love that word. That's a whole nother phraseology. You're in the neutrality, the neutral space. Exactly. You're in that neutral space, which. Yeah. And then you're not biased, and you're clear. You get that clarity because you're not pushing towards one side or the other, no? And that's also why I love working with infinity symbols, because in the middle they come together in that 0 point where the two loops come together, and then you're out of duality in that point. Yeah. And of course from there everything springs forward.
Right.
So play with us. You have something you wanted to share with us with the you were going to go through a couple little things and play.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's great that we just did the little practice with the 0 point, because I would love you to start going into your 0 point and all. I've already explained it, which is good. Yeah. But I would like just to, if I may, just say 3 quick sentences, or more or less, about why would you want to engage with sacred geometry? Because people might ask, so I can do other things as well. So why would I actually want to look at or work with or engage with or play with sacred geometry? And as you already mentioned, I mean, it takes us back, because it is the divine blueprint of nature, of cosmos, of human beings, of everything. So it actually takes us back to our true self. I mean, to who we are at the deepest level of our being. Right. Which is love, light, presence. And why is it so effective? And it's so effective because it surpasses the rational mind and the programming and the conditioning that we all have, because as children and as young adults and even today, we're being programmed, or we have been programmed by our parents, society, religion, whatever, all these layers that were placed upon our true self, our essence. And sacred geometry goes straight into your subconscious with its frequencies and its codes. And it can then unravel those programmings and what is not truly us, basically, everything that is not truly us. So the programming, the conditioning, and trauma and experiences, emotions that are stuck, thoughts and belief systems that are outdated. And that's important. And so, I mean, of course, if you look at it, you have some impact. And if you actually energetically work with it, or you're physically under a sacred geometry installation, it's even stronger, of course. It depends. And you can, because there are certain frequencies that come out of certain consciousness that comes out of these sacred geometry shapes and forms, that then informs your subconscious. Or even if you put your water on it, a symbol, and drink it, then it has informed the water, and the water informs the water in your body.
Right.
So, and that could work on any level. That could work on the mental level, on outdated beliefs. It could work on the emotional level. It can help you restore emotional balance. It can activate your creative abilities and talents. It unravels stuck energies and emotions. It can also increase your vitality and well-being. But of course, the physical body, since it's a bit, it takes longer because it's still in a very solid form. So you would have to do many practices. It wouldn't just do it in one go usually, no? But on the energetic body, you can have effects right away, and you can have revelations and insights, and you can communicate with light beings from other realms. But the most important thing is it really helps you to remember, return to your true self. And that's also what my work is about.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's the main thing. It's one path that definitely leads us to the truth of who we are.
And I love we've come to a moment of that clear space, right? That quiet moment where it gets very wordless, really.
Right. And it's interesting. Right. It's interesting that I just ended with the word truth, because the octahedron actually helps you with that as well, with clarity and truth. Yeah. Okay, let's start then. The octahedron, here you can see, for those who can see it right now in the background, we've got, like, for example, here 2 green octahedrons and a red octahedron. For those who cannot see it at the moment, imagine a pyramid. A pyramid has got a square base and 4 triangles leading up from the 4 corners of the square to the peak. That's a pyramid. And so if you imagine 2 pyramids, so there's one pointing upwards and the other one of exactly the same size and form, pointing downwards, then you have an octahedron.
Right.
So 2 pyramids joined at the square base is an octahedron. Here's another version.
Beautiful. You did a little mini version.
Yes.
In a light crystal. It's so sweet. So sweet.
Okay. So and an octahedron, it's related to the element of air, concepts, ideas, to the mind, but also taking you from the mind to the heart chakra. And it's got this beautiful whirling, spinning energy, like a spinning top, and it's dynamic. And with that frequency and that property, it clears mental confusion and old programs and imbalances in your mental body. And it also activates the clarity and the focus within, brings in that fresh air, that fresh wind, sets the winds of change in motion, transmutes the old, and opens you to your heart's wisdom and brings in ease, joy, and playfulness as well. So just as a background on the octahedron.
Nice. And is there something in particular, because I know you're walking us through a beautiful moment already, was there something specific that you wanted to do with the octahedron energy?
Yeah, let's do 2 short practices so that you actually get to experience the frequencies of the octahedron.
And if you're driving, you'll be okay. Yeah. But just, if it because the energies can be quite strong. So I will put a little safety disclaimer, safety first, do what you need to do. Either pull off the road and come back to the show, or just be mindful that you're okay. Yeah, but do what you need to do. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, this is going to be just an introductory practice, so it's not going to be probably so strong. Right. But I would normally ask you to close your eyes, but of course, if you're driving, don't do it.
don't close your eyes while you're driving.
it's just an invitation, because
that's right.
when you close your eyes,
we got to do the legal disclaimers here. Safety first, everybody. Take what you need and leave the rest. Yeah,
exactly. And you could always come back and listen.
That's to right. Later. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so if you can, I invite you to close your eyes. You don't have to, but it might be helpful. And focus on your 0 point, just as we did before. Set the intention, so say or think. I set the intention to focus on the 0 point in the middle of my heart chakra. Place your awareness there and take a few deep breaths into your 0 point, so that you really land in that space of peace and neutrality. Okay. And now let's invite a crystalline octahedron into our minds and energetic bodies. And so we do that by just setting the intention, or just saying or thinking, I invite a crystalline octahedron into my mind and into my energy system. And then we ask the octahedron to activate itself. So we say, I ask the octahedron to activate itself and to spin and rotate within, around, and through me, with the intention of dissolving any mental confusion, as well as with the intention of transmuting any outdated beliefs and concepts, transmuting them into mental patterns that serve me. So you're in that experience, and you feel, sense, or see the octahedron that's spinning in your mind, in your energy system, and you've asked it to activate itself and to spin and rotate within, around, and through you, with the intention of dissolving any mental confusion, of transmuting any outdated beliefs and mental concepts into new mental patterns that serve you. And now you visualize that swirling octahedron, and you see or sense or feel it in your mind and in your energy body. And you just relax into the energies. And let's also ask the octahedron to support us in strengthening our clarity and our focus. So we just say or think, I ask the octahedron to support me in strengthening my clarity and my focus. And then you tune into the energy. And where in your energetic body do you notice any shifts? So what has changed from before? And what is ready to be revealed? And then you can take a few deep breaths, come out of the practice, come into the here and now again, to your body. And so, yeah, so that was just a first introductory experience with the octahedron. How was it
beautiful.
for you?
It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And clearly, I very much look forward to listening back in my own time and not recording a show and all that. And yet, even within the construct of, the quote busy part of my mind, my color that came in was yellow. So that was my subconscious saying, let's bring it in within gold and yellow. That was for me. It could be another color or sound quality for somebody else. So I could feel it. I could feel it doing its thing and opening. And then I kept sensing the word fun. This is all meant to be so fun, right? So yes, we could be clearing many cobwebs for that clarity. All the while, at the same time, it's that combination, right? We're infusing now fun and joy, stillness, clarity, all these other things, the aspects that our mental bodies, physical bodies, subconscious is looking to simultaneously clear out and infuse, right? So I could feel all that and see it in my own mind's eye. It's really beautiful, Sabine. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for sharing. And it's so funny that you already experienced what this second practice I had for you was about, bringing in the joy and the fun.
Well, because then there's the telepathic part. I will giggle, side note, that you said, and thanks for asking the question. I'm like, I didn't, but somewhere along the line, there was a question that you heard that I said without speaking. So this is also how fun it can be, which is also, I will also say practicality wise, being mindful of our spaces, being mindful of who we are around. Are they of joy, or are they, because things like that, when you're tapping into everybody else's frequencies, what are those frequencies? Right. So you and I are in playland right now. This is a beautiful noise, a beautiful thing, a beautiful sandbox. But here we are with the invitation for people to recognize, what else are you hearing? Are you hearing somebody else's terror? Are you hearing somebody else's, political blah, blah, blah? And to take these practice moments that you're talking about and finding your own resonance. Right? Maybe stepping out of one chaos and finding, wait a second, whether that's another space or place or location, person, group, whatever it is, TV station, radio station, what is it that we are infusing ourselves with that can help us defuse and re-infuse these other joyous and clarity spaces?
Oh, yeah, and it's beautiful. I mean, you experience the color yellow because everybody has different experiences. For me, it was like, well, I didn't close my eyes, and so I couldn't, it was more difficult maybe to see colors. But I felt it very much in my heart chakra. So all the energy went into my heart chakra, for example, while I was guiding you through this practice. But colors is beautiful, and different colors might mean different things to different people. So it's always good also to see, like, when something shows up in form of a color, or shape, or a sound, what does it mean to me? What does it express? And yeah, beautiful.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you. And I look forward to, if people want to chime in on what their experiences are. And I notice you have colors in the wheel of your symbol in back of you that you have created. So the purple, the reds, the greens, the yellows. I know there are colors as part of our whole chakra systems. Colors could represent so many other things. So while we're looking at this, for those of you looking at the symbol, what are those corresponding? Is there something to the codex of what you've created with those colors in back of you?
Yes, thank you for asking. So usually before I design the sacred geometries, there are actually, some of them are also available on my website. My favorite ones can be purchased as well. Or you can get see them for free on the Instagram with an activation. So I usually tune in with my mentors first and see, like, what are the frequencies? For example, this is called alignment with your infinite nature. So I tune in, what are the frequencies you need, similar like concocting a meal, what are the ingredients you need to come up with a symbol that supports you in aligning with your infinite nature. And so that's why I was getting infinity symbol octahedron for the clarity, bringing in the new, and the 6-pointed star for alignment with the heavens above and the earth below, and the circle of 8-pointed stars that is all encompassing. And I got the colors as well. And as colors I got is the dark blue cosmic background for the cosmos, the universe, aligning with everything. I got the root chakra color red, connecting really with the root, with earth. I got the purple color of the crown chakra, like transcendence. And I got the green color which is also one of the colors of the heart chakra, also reflects being natural, coming back to your natural, to your true nature, to being natural again. And the rim is actually made out of all kinds of colors. It shows the whole color, well, not the whole, but I mean samples of the entire color spectrum. So meaning, like, you are inclusive of all experiences of your human nature, of your nature, while you're at the same time connected to your infinite nature, to the infinity symbols and the 0 point, the golden 0 point in the middle. So basically, you are in tune, you're aligned within your human nature and all the experiences of all kinds, while you are connected and expressing your infinite nature. Right. And these were the colors that came through for me then to express that.
Beautiful. And you have so many others that have different themes to them. Why don't you talk about that and what is available in your book and on your website, and the webinar sessions that you have and private sessions? Because each one has a different theme and different sets of colors, and it's a beautiful bouquet and an array of wonderful recipes and prescriptions.
Yes, thank you. So in the book, basically, you will find the fundamental sacred geometry shapes and forms. Well, you'll get an introduction to sacred geometry as well. What is it? No? What are the benefits and how to work with it energetically, physically, through meditation, through embodiment. And then you have like a chapter with information. This is like an overview table of different kinds of sacred geometry shapes and forms, their energetic properties and their utilizations, and then also of the stars, for example. And then you will find a lot of practices. There's a whole chapter with like topic-related chapters. Like, for example, the practice we just did is one practice from the chapter, how to go from confusion to mental clarity and focus. And then I show you with different shapes and forms how you can work so that you can go back to, in this case, a clarity and focus, to emotional balance, to there are all kinds of topics. There could be from feeling out of flow to aligning with natural and cosmic rhythms, playing with your infinite nature through the infinity symbol, from repeating old patterns to new beginnings. So there are all kinds of, it's a very practical book then as well. Bridges, I mean, the metaphysical part to the practicalities of daily life.
Beautiful.
So basically that's what the book is about. And I also offer webinars that go deeper. And so at the beginning of this year, I had a series of Sacred Geometry of the Month webinars. So in each beginning of each month, I would tune in, what is the topic of the month and which sacred geometry do we need to support us in going through maybe the challenging parts of the energies of the month, but also reaping the benefits of the potentials that the month may bring. And so we started with embracing the unknown, then love is in February, then equilibrium, how to come back to equilibrium, then be peace, return to joy, and the last one was return to authentic power. And so these webinars are still available for download on my website. They only cost €22 each, which is about $24. And it's like a 1 hour guided, information first, explaining and experiencing the symbol, and then a guided meditation. And you will also get the symbols that are involved in the topic of the month. And like for your audience, Heather, I put together a pack of these 6 webinars that I did at a special price of altogether all the 6 webinars, audio, video recordings, and the sacred geometries for €88 till the end of September.
Very generous. And we're going to have all the information, your Instagram, the special offer and everything in the show notes. So you can look at them when you click, if you're listening. And then also on YouTube, there's things called show notes. Look at the description and then read all the information, because it's all right there for people. And Sabine, so what is the name of your book once again and your website?
Yeah, so the book is called Activate Your Highest Potential with Sacred Geometry, a practical guide to freedom, authenticity, and fulfillment. And and I experienced that as well when actually putting the book together, working with the practices. I experienced my own path to my freedom, to my authenticity, and to fulfillment. And and I also offer coaching. I'm a certified coach. So if you want to work one-on-one with me, that's also possible. And I do personal sacred geometry designs. I mean, you can get the designs, some of the designs I designed on my website, but you can also, if you have a specific intention of purpose or want a logo or so, you can actually also get a personal sacred geometry design from me.
Great. And your website is called?
It's my name and my family name. So it's Sabine Kruse. So you spell it SabineKruse.com.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Would you like to lead us out with a little something?
Yeah, I could do, if you want, I could do the second practice I had in mind with the octahedron. Would you like?
We could do that. We just have maybe. What's getting called in? There's some little cherry on top. A little something for these kind people. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see what wants to come through. Huh?
Right. Yeah.
So why don't we just, if we can, close our eyes and just drop back into our 0 point. I'm actually seeing this symbol now in front of my eyes. Okay, let's go into the center. Yeah, we can set the intention to step into the very center of the alignment with your infinite nature sacred geometry symbol, just by intention. So you say or think, I set the intention to step into the very center of the alignment with your infinite nature sacred geometry symbol. It's a golden 0 point in the middle of 3 infinity symbols. And now we ask the alignment with your infinite nature symbol to activate itself. We ask the alignment with your infinite nature symbol to activate itself and to rotate and spin and move within, around, and through us with the intention of bringing through its frequencies, of bringing through its support in aligning with our infinite nature. So we set the intention to step into the very center of the alignment with the infinite nature sacred geometry symbol. We ask it to activate itself and to rotate and spin and move within, around, and through us with the intention of bringing through its frequencies of support in aligning with our infinite nature. And see, sense, or feel the 6-pointed star. There's the upwards pointing triangle connecting to you to the heavens above. And feel, see, sense the downward pointing triangle connecting you to the earth below. And see, sense, or feel the 3 infinity symbols in the center, circling the old, connecting you to your infinite nature, bringing through and connecting to all that is. Also feel the 6, see or sense the 6 octahedrons at the 6 points of the 6-pointed star swirling, bringing through clarity, joy, ease, and playfulness. And feel the multicolored rim of 8-pointed stars all around you, of all colors, sharing all the experiences with you, being inclusive of everything. Dropping back now into the 0 point, into the infinity symbols, and experiencing the oneness with all that is, with the universe, with all of you. So it is. So it is. So it is.
Beautiful. Sabine Kruse, thank you so much.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you,
people,
everyone.
And everyone, exactly. So from around the globe, around the planet, around the cosmos, we thank you. We thank you for taking this moment, remembering your true self, your own empowerment, your life, your joy, your love, that is the ripple effect for everybody here. Thanks for listening, everybody. This is Heather Lockett with Lasting Conversations. We got to the heart of everything today. Thank you.